everyone. This is Vet Talk, and I'm your host, Sergeant Gonzalo Duran. I'd like to start off by thanking our executive producers, JM Empire Media and Vero G Production, for making this season one of our best seasons. Also, to our sponsors, such as Tours to Do PR, who gave me this awesome shirt. What they'll make sure is that you're an experienced veteran out in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and jungles, and make sure you come back home safe and sound. So let them know that I sent you. Check out their social media at Tours to Do PR. Once again, I'll make sure you get back home safe and sound. Today's honored guest is Ricardo Garcia, Hostos Community College representative and American Legion member. Ricardo, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you.
So tell us more about your position and the organization that you're working with.
So currently I run the Office of Veterans Affairs at Hostos Community College, and in that function, what I do is I work with veterans that are matriculating out of the military, and what I try to do is I actually try to bring them into the university and assist them with the whole process of onboarding and admissions into the college.
You know, for a veteran coming out, the military, acclimating to that type of atmosphere, then coming back home to reintegrate, going into college is normally one of the first things I think about, because the GI Bill. Not only is it the ability for veterans to come back for education goals, but also a stipend to help you readjust with housing, which I believe New York is like one of the highest ones. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I know it's over $3,000, just under $4,000 something right there. So come back to school. Depending on the school, you could be, let's say, full ride, so a full payment of the college courses and a stipend to live off of.
That's 100% correct. So what ends up happening is California, Hawaii, New York State has the highest rate paid out for basic housing allowance or monthly housing allowance once you come out of the military. And then what ends up happening is a lot of these veterans just trying to kind of figure out what career path, kind of what their next step is when they, as soon as they attrition out of the military. It's a real simple choice for them to, come to school, get your education, work on your degree, work on your career path, and get paid while you're doing it. So a lot of veterans, just completely transition right over into academia. And my job is to make sure that they're fully aware of the benefits that is available to them and how to utilize those benefits to the best of their abilities to help them cover all of their expenses within academia. Now,
it's been a while since I got out of college, that I've been to college and then I got out. But I know Hostos has always been pro-veteran. They have literally a whole office dedicated to helping the veteran community. Now, let's say somebody trying to come in. Is there a waiver fee for the application?
So there 100% is. So the City University of New York, what they do is as a incentive, to recognize the work and the efforts that military members have made, they're committed to ensuring that there is no application fee for any service member or their family members, which includes dependents, to come to CUNY. So all those application fees and all of their families' application fees are waived.
All right, so now, when let's say somebody is going into the military, there is a plethora of career fields that they open up and say, you want to be this, you want to be that, you want to be that. Now, Hostos has a wide range of educational goals.
100%.
Now, I don't know all of them. I do know there's like some. There's a medical field that they have opening. Do you happen to know any of them?
I do. So we have approximately, we have a significant amount of majors, well over 20 majors, which include, and this is just, the greatest hits, from engineering programs, electrical, mechanical, civil engineering programs. And we have allied health programs, dental hygiene, nursing, in addition to radiology technology. In addition to that, we have a variety of other phenomenal majors like criminal justice majors, computer science. So there's a million things to choose from, and I could go on, but there's just,
of course,
it's just easier if you just go to the website, www.hostos.cuny.edu, and you'll see the significant amount of majors that are on there.
And that's a very important thing, because for somebody coming out, when you go into the military, you're normally spearheaded on one career path and one roadmap. Now this is your time to shine, to say, this is what I want to do, this is my career goal, this is my path, and for someone like you to guide them and show them the path, that's, once again, reintegrating is very hard for some individuals, and having that structure is important. Now, the community at Hostos, the HOVA, what exactly does that stand for?
So HOVA stands for the Hostos Office of Veterans Affairs. And what it is it's just an easy way to identify, the office for the military community. While there are a lot of individuals that attend our college that are still actively serving in the military or are members of our reserve and National Guard forces, we still embrace them as part of that population, that military population. So we decided to coin our office under veterans, because eventually, they're going to become veterans, and at one point or another, everyone has served. So it's just an easier way for them to identify the office and to really recognize, okay, this is the office I need to go to that will help me with my military, questions.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. Now, I particularly went to Fordham University, go Rams.
Cool.
At the time that I went, they didn't really have a structured office. Now, we had groups where we did meetups at random other either campuses or offices. Now, you guys actually have a dedicated office space for the students?
Well, so unfortunately, we're working on that. Spacing is, it's because we're expanding. So we actually do have my particular office where the students come and congregate, but we have a significant number of places within the university, that we just schedule and we have our students come and meet. But it is definitely in the future plans of the institution, because as the institution grows,
of course, yeah,
there's
going to be more space available.
Exactly.
Now, where you guys meet up, when you guys do meet up, I'm assuming you guys don't just do, let's say, school talk. It's also maybe resources
Correct.
And stuff like that.
That's absolutely correct. So we have a significant number of students and I say students, but they're veterans in our military population, have a variety of different needs. Now, some of the interesting thing is that not all of our veterans may qualify for the VA GI bills. So we capitalize on other veteran service organization funding sources, New York State funding sources, for example, the Veterans Tuition Award, which is available to all service members that have served and deployed. And we have a variety of other programs and scholarships that are available to our community that may not have that pathway to the VA education benefits at that time. So we work on educating them on all of these different available resources for them. And it's not just education benefits. There's a lot of other issues. Sometimes, they're looking for new housing. They're looking for employment resources. They're looking for, assistance with their military records, correction on military records, updating military. So we provide all of these services. In addition to that, we also provide cultural competency for our faculty and our administrators, so they understand the veteran population and the needs of that specific population.
Okay, so, and then I'm assuming the culture and atmosphere is very welcoming there. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you have past events, current events, maybe some future projects that you'd like to mention today?
Absolutely. So Greatest hits for the past. We actually had the 65th Infantry Regiment documentary film, which we showcased on National Boardingeniers Day, which is April 13th. So a little history about them is that they were a unit that served in the Korean War. They lost about 2/3 of their unit, and they really didn't get recognized until 2016 by President Obama, in which Congress awarded them the Congressional Gold Medal. So I was very proud to bring them to the institution and showcase that documentary film with the director being present and several of the actual Boardingeniers. We had a Silver Star recipient, 2 Purple Heart recipients, and a slew of other, Bronze Star Medal with Valor recipients. Upcoming events that we have, obviously the mayor's Veterans Day breakfast. We have the Veterans Day parade that we'll be attending. Currently, right now, we have a play that's going on October 26th and October 27th. It's called Homeward, and it talks about a Vietnam veteran's experience in, in Vietnam, and his struggle once he came back home to just kind of reintegrate himself back into society without, with addressing some of the psychological scars that he endured and had, throughout his time in the military. So it was a really nice opportunity to have that play being performed, because it really touches on a lot of the specific things that veterans go through, with the family, go through personally, to try to just kind of, assimilate back into civilian life. And it's a phenomenal play. It was written by Ann Bond, and it was a phenomenal work. And it's at Hostos Theater. And obviously we have a variety of other things that are the Bronx Veterans Day Parade. Can't stress that enough. That's a really fantastic opportunity for individuals to come and attend. And, if you're definitely interested in finding some more events, obviously come to our page.
Now the theater event, now I'm assuming that's open to the public and free as well? That
is 100% correct, yes. So it's free of charge to everybody. It's a screenplay reading, but it's very powerful. And it's, again, October 26th, 12:30 and 7 p.m. and October 27th at 7 p.m. And
if just in case the viewers aren't able to make this one, I'm assuming there's more than
yes, eventually they will be doing more dates. They're unannounced. They're to be determined in 2024, but they will be announcing as soon as I get those dates. I'll definitely provide them.
And for the Veterans Day Parade, I'm assuming the invitation is for past Hostos members, current members, and maybe people of the public?
That is correct, 100%. All veterans, all military members, active, reservists are all welcome, and your families.
Now, if you have never attended the Veterans Day Parade, it's a huge day where we can show patriotism across the city. And, I've only done it maybe a handful of times because, unfortunately, as a service provider, I'm also working during those days as well.
Yes.
Once again, if they want to be able to maybe reach out to upcoming events, maybe join the Veterans event, who would they go to and how would they be able to reach that person?
So I would suggest that you email veterans@hostos.cuny.edu. Repeat, veterans@hostos.cuny.edu, or you look at Hostos Office of Veterans Affairs, our Twitter page, our Instagram page, or our Facebook page.
Right. Well, once again, these are all opportunities available at Hostos Community College, and these are things that you want to make sure that the people know about. 100%. Besides that, I mentioned earlier that you are a member of the American Legion.
That is correct.
Could you go a little bit more into details on that?
Absolutely. So I'm on the executive board for the American Legion on the Bronx County. So I represent all of the interests and all of the concerns of the veterans within the Bronx. And what we try to do is we try to highlight the needs and the concerns of the veteran population within the Bronx to our legislative colleagues in the state, in the city, and federally. So whatever concerns that there may be, we are the bullhorn that advocates for those needs. And in that role and in that function, what we try to do is just address, issues that may be of concern with the Veterans Administration, issues, legislative issues in terms of benefits. We look at what the concerns are and what the issues are with the population, and we try to make sure that we focus a spotlight on those concerns, but also we try to work with our legislative colleagues to create legislation that will beneficially impact the population. And we also are the watchdogs to make sure that they don't take away any of the existing legislation or reduce funding that is appropriated for this population.
Yes, coming back home, once again, reintegrating, one of the things I always try to push is for people to try to join their local American Legion, which there are many chapters all over New York City and across the country. If I remember correctly, it's been a while as well, but the first year is normally paid off for by the Legion. So
usually, as an incentive, usually if they're coming in brand new, most posts, I'm not going to say all of them, but most posts will pick up the tab as a brand new incoming member. And this it's a great way for them to, kind of get an introduction, learn about the American Legion, learn about our function and what we do. Again, we have our 4 pillars: children and youth, Americanism, national security, and obviously the veterans concerns and veterans issues. And these are the things that we focus on. And we do it from a community level. That's why there's a post in almost every single community. But we also do it at a state level, which is our department, and also at the national level. So the American Legion is the only veteran service organization that is chartered by Congress to represent Congress and their issues.
And that's a very important situation and understanding for the general public, because once again, when a lot of veterans are coming out, let's say in their mid-20s to 30s, most of the time they just want to go party, do these events, 100%. Rock climb, all this stuff. But we have to also remember that some of us want that structure. Yes. When you join the American Legion, it's not just a hat. There is a tie, there's a jacket, there's a uniformity, there's structure within the Legion itself, the Legion community. And getting into that, you're integrating back not only to your community, but also in a civic engagement as well.
That's
because
100%.
Without the American Legion, once again, with the ear to Congress, a lot of these benefits that we have right now wouldn't be as structured or be there. So the numbers have to keep on continuing to grow. Me personally, I'm always trying to get more people to join the American Legion.
I couldn't agree with you more. And a lot of people don't realize that the American Legion, the current GI Bill that exists, the VA hospital, the veterans benefits, that's a lot, in large part, has to do with the advocacy of the American Legion. In addition to the GI Bill, the VA hospital, the benefits that certain veterans receive through their service connection disabilities is the advocacy, again, of the American Legion. So if a veteran comes out, to your point, if you're looking for something to kind of bring you back into the community and to help you, continue to serve and be of service, to your, not only your population of veterans, but to your community, these veteran service organizations are a fantastic way to give back to the community. And there is, like you said, a structure. There's a sergeant at arms, there's a first vice commander, second vice, third vice. So there is a rank structure. There are committees within, under the executive board that also that you could participate in, and events committees, parade committees. So there's a significant amount of ways that you can, help the community and, your fellow veterans through these.
And you can't forget about the camaraderie.
Oh, God,
I
yes.
remember the beers,
Yeah.
the pizza,
100%.
the pizza party nights. So.
Yes, the best. And on the Super Bowl days, we have our hot dogs, hamburgers, and our, avocado sauce and stuff. That's great.
Now, it's been a while since I've been to the different legions in the Bronx, but I know there's one close to the beach, I remember.
Yes, there's several within the Bronx. I don't have the list in front of me, but yeah, we have some really, we have, all right, so we have the Throgs Neck, we have the Caroni Post, we have the Sam Young Post, we have the Unionport Post, we have the Riverdale Post, we have the Transit Authority Post. We have, there's just so many posts. I can't even, Silver Beach Post. I mean, the list goes on and on. I apologize to the other American Legion colleagues that I didn't mention, but, there's too many of us.
I'm sure they understand that part. Yeah. Now, obviously, there's a locator at the national level for people to find. Unfortunately, I don't have that on me right now, but at least for your Legion post, if somebody was wanting to be interested to join the Bronx chapter, how would they reach?
So you can go to mylegion.org, and you could find the closest post within your area. My particular post is the Unionport Post, which is located on Castle Hill. But then again, we have, the City Island Post, Leonard Hawkins. We have the Throgs Neck Post, which is located within Throgs Neck, the Caroni Post, and just a slew of other posts that are within the Bronx. But mylegion.org is the best way to locate for the American Legion within your community or closest to you.
So once again, if you're somebody interested in joining the American Legion and you're just getting out, you'll have possibly 1 year free write-off on that.
Correct, depending on the post.
Depending on the post, and then you'll have some camaraderie, maybe get in some action within the community and build up, the veteran community as well. But besides being the American Legion, there's also other sections like the Children of the American Legion.
That's correct. So we also have our other what we call our American Legion family, which is the auxiliary, American Legion Auxiliary, which is predominantly, it's an all-female organization, and these are where our dependents, even service member women that are interested, they can join the regular American Legion, but they could also participate in the auxiliary, and also the daughters of our veterans, they all participate in the American Legion Auxiliary. In addition to that, we also have the sons of the American Legion. So if your father or your grandfather was a service member, you can participate in the Sons of the American Legion, which is the male equivalent to the auxiliary. And they, again, do some phenomenal work with a lot of our youth programs. And then lastly, we have the American Legion Riders. For those motorcycle enthusiasts, they raise a significant amount of money and they travel cross country to different VA hospitals, to different national monuments, to different veteran monuments, to pay homage, to pay their respects, and to recognize, the service that was done by all of our veterans. So all three of those additional organizations serve in phenomenal ways the veteran population and community.
Before I forget, there's two things that I like to bring up that I personally have experienced with the American Legion and recently as a service veteran officer. I remember there was about 2 months ago, there was a veteran that passed away, and I contacted the Bronx office to direct me to someone in Brooklyn, and they offered it's not a burial service, but more of an honor guard, to
Correct.
represent someone's service in the community. So at that particular day, I was helping organize the event, but also played the chaplain. But I wanted to make sure that there were other veterans that were at the event, and it was the Brooklyn chapter. I can't remember the exact the number, but they came out and they helped out. They did a whole honor guard, helped out with the ceremony part. It's a beautiful event and a service that the American Legion, depending on the chapter, will provide.
That's absolutely correct. So the American Legion is not just relegated to advocacy. We are very ceremonial. Also, you'll see us in the parades. You'll see us at funerals. We have an honor guard for all types of ceremonial events, and they wear, their colors, obviously representing, the organization, and also this country, with the American flag and the POW flag. In addition to that, we have our own tap players as well that play taps for these events. So, and we do coordinated efforts where both the American Legion and Military Honor Guard will work will work in conjunction and collaborate on any ceremonial event, whether it be a parade or funeral or any event that is requested, in honor of veteran service or a veteran kind of event.
That's beautiful. And the second one was a couple years back, we were doing construction in our office. So we have a community center that can house about 25 and one office that can house about 200 people. And the one with 200 people were doing construction on it. And I'm like, well, where am I supposed to do my veterans event? So I reached out to one of the other posts that had an office, and they sometimes allow you to rent out and use their facilities at a veteran organization. And that's because the structure that they have, which is an important thing.
Absolutely, and it's important. And the funny thing is that their ability to be able to bring in individuals to work on projects and capital projects like this is phenomenal, because they actually really have a really fantastic opportunity of just kind of, getting volunteers together pretty rapidly to help with initiatives like that. So that's really good. So
now, we talked about you being, one of the members of the Hostos Community College and American Legion. Right. The reason you're probably in that trajectory is because you yourself are a veteran.
That is 100% correct. I did 25 years in the United States Army, active reserve and National Guard. After my retirement, I went to school, got my degree, but I served in multiple operations. I served in Iraq. I served at the World Trade Center. I served on Operation Noble Eagle. I did several other operations within the U.S. with the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA, which was what they call a Homeland Response Force, and it was in the event of, God forbid, another 9/11. This was the responding unit, and there's a HERF in every FEMA region, and within the HERFs, there are X amount of what they call SURF-Ps, Seaburn Enhanced Response Force packages. There's about 2 or 3 within each Homeland Response Force. So for every region, you get 2 or 3 SURFs. So these are the individuals that respond, God forbid, if something, goes awry.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Thank you for your service as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well,
if you had an opportunity, I'm sure you talked to a lot of veterans coming back and, open mind and hardworking individuals coming back home. What advice would you give to a veteran that's coming back home, how to prepare for?
So one of the things that I would definitely recommend, and that I always recommend, is, you've given so much, to your country. Be proud of that service, honor that service, but don't stop giving back. Continue to give back. Find what it is that interests you, because now this is your time, like you stated earlier. This is your opportunity to really focus on you. Hone yourself and hone your personal skills to make you to make you much more marketable and much more valuable to whatever organization you're going to be aligning yourself with. So, for example, if you come out and you served as a nurse in the military, and that's what you want to do, in your career, go do that. Definitely do that. find a school that will help you reach that level of excellence, get your education, get your degrees, and then from there, find an organization that will allow you, to be of service, because 90% of veterans always want to help. They always want to give back, and they always want to be involved because they understand the significance of the team. They understand the significance of putting, yourself in a position where you can help move that dial in a better direction for the rest of the community and for, the state, the country, in the world for that matter. So always put yourself, in a position where, you're going to receive a significant amount of knowledge and work with an institution that will allow you to be of service and give back.
I thank you for sharing that because, for me, when I'm talking to more veterans, I'm more of a lecturer. So I'm telling them, look, you guys got to be prepared. I hope Vet Talk is giving them the resources that they know that's going to be prepared for them when they get home. But you have to prepare yourself beforehand as well.
Yes.
Let's say you're getting out in, let's say, November. You have to remember school doesn't start until January, February. And the GI Bill starts 30 days after you do 30 days of school.
Correct.
So you got to think about that payment. Like, what are you going to do from that time period? Yeah. Where are you going to live? You have the stipend coming in for the housing, but what neighborhood are you going to live in?
Exactly.
How far from the school you're going to go to? These are all things that you have to prepare. And once again, I lose some people during there, but I always hope that I reach that one person and says, okay, thank you so much because I was listening and I did all that stuff.
And that's important information, very critical information.
Now, selling yourself and making yourself more reasonable for the job efforts. This is something that I've brought up in other conversations. Let's say you're, technician, engineer, let's say in the military. Now, when you get out, those certifications that you had may not apply directly to the civilian population. So you have to prepare, like I'm sure there's certification and programs at Hostos, at Hostos would prepare someone with. I don't want to put you on the spot and pick any specific, but that's another thing that I would tell individuals. Look up the college that you want to go to so you can see if what you're translating from your work experience translates over to the civilian and educational experience.
100%. I couldn't agree with you, and I'm really glad that you brought that topic up because what a lot of veterans don't realize is how to translate your military experience, your career, and your training into transferable skills that make you more marketable. You're an infantryman. You led an infantry unit. How do I translate that? Well, you're a leader. Not only you're a leader, you're able to make impactful decisions, in critical moments to the benefit, of the team and the group that you're with. So that right there, every organization is looking for leaders. Every organization is looking for individuals that can assess situations quickly and be able to, to come up with a solution rapidly. And then there's a variety of different organizations that take your military skills. The American Council on Education, they create what they call the Joint Services Transcript, and all of your military education training is documented and is placed onto this Joint Services Transcript, which you can take and bring it to any academic institution, and they'll the Joint Service Transcript already translates that particular education set into academic credits, which you can utilize to bring to your institution, have them apply it to your degree and give you less time in college.
Well, thank you. We'll leave off with that, Ricardo. Thank you so much for saying that, and thank you for being here. For those that are interested in joining and becoming, coming on to Vet Talk, you feel free to email me at ceo@devildogusainc.org. And as always, God bless America.
HOVA.